this is the franchise Shane Douglas, ECW's original World Heavyweight Champion. Right now, you're watching the #1 wrestling podcast on all of Long Island, Monty and the Pharaoh.
Monty and the Pharaoh. Monty and the Pharaoh.
The Monty and Pharaoh Show.
And you're watching the Monty and Pharaoh Show.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
With Monty and the Pharaoh.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
It's Monty and the Pharaoh.
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 Monty and Pharaoh.
It's Monty and the Pharaoh. And Monty and the Pharaoh. Oh, is it Monty and the Pharaoh?
Monty and Pharaoh.
The Monty and the Pharaoh Show.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
To the Monty and the Pharaoh show. And it's Monty and the Pharaoh, baby.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
With Monty and the Pharaoh. Monty and the Pharaoh. Oh, what a run.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
Hey, cut the fucking music. When you want the best in professional wrestling, Long Island, there's only one place you're going to get it, right here.
Monty and the Pharaoh. Now, that's not just the coolest, and that's not just the best. That, my friends, is just incredible. Monty and the Pharaoh.
You've got the future Hall of Famer, that rocker, Marty Jannetty, and MJ in the house, and I'm sitting here with two more future Hall of Famers, Monty and the Pharaoh. We're doing that stuff, and we gonna rock it.
Straight to the top. We're living this life, not just dreaming it, we're doing it for real. Straight to the top. Working hard every day just to live out that tower.
Adam Huntington, New York, from Village Connection Media. At the helm is producer
Hi, Mike.
Stephen Miller.
Sorry about the problem with the intro.
And we've got our art director in studio. Jeff, how are you, buddy?
Doing good, man. How you?
Good, hanging in there. Throat's a little hoarse, but, just getting over a cold. No intro. Had a little problem with the intro.
We're having a tough day today, Mike.
Well, what are you going to do, man? Monty the Pharaoh could be seen every Thursday from 8:05 to 9 p.m. right out of Rockstar Studios. You could also catch us on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcast, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public. We could also be seen on Channel 115 from 8:30 to 9 p.m. on Tuesdays, Channel 115 from 6 a.m. to 6:30 on Saturday, and Channel 20 times coming soon. And also, we start our first official show on the Fox affiliate RTF Sports Network, which will be on Fridays, drive time from 4 to 5 p.m. So, boys, did you catch the Super Bowl?
Yes.
What'd you think about halftime?
It was okay.
I didn't watch it.
It was okay, and you didn't watch it.
Well,
I should know that I was watching Miller and the Rockstar, which made its secondary appearance, I guess. So
yes.
You took a break, right? So starting off the Thursdays in a row, right?
Yeah.
You guys were funny. So you didn't watch it?
No. You know my reason, though. It's like I stay in my lane, which is the football lane.
I don't understand. What does that mean?
Is normally I watch football all year, and they never have a big halftime show, so I don't want any part of it.
Well, I'll tell you this. When I heard that it was Shakira and J-Lo, I was like, oh, my God. Can we come up with someone better than this? I was glued. Probably the best halftime show I've ever seen in my life, man.
That's funny. No, I heard it was pretty hot.
It was hot. It was very hot.
We were at a party. Give me some feedback on this. And they were telling us that every NFL halftime show is really a devil worshipping show, and they try to convince you to go to the devil.
Who said that?
The people that were hosting the party.
Yeah,
they said you got to look away like every 8 minutes or 2 minutes, so they suck you in. And I was like this the whole time.
Yeah. Well,
I said, if this is hell, I'm going.
If Shakira or J-Lo
oh my
suck
God.
me in, then
oh my God, Shakira, oh my
dude, they're
God.
both like stupid hot.
What was her name? Was that Janet Jackson who was topless that time?
Yeah, but she got her shirt ripped off
ripped
by
off.
design, I guess.
Was that
by
the devil?
accident?
Yeah.
By JT Timberlake? Yeah,
Yeah.
I said that one.
I asked the couple, I was like, what about you two when they were doing it? Are they the devil also? She's like, every one of
Paul
them.
McCartney was the devil?
The Illuminatis.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, I have a friend of mine who wrote a whole book on Illuminati.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So if you watch
not
the
that
halftime
deep.
too sucked in, then you fall right into that.
I'm just not that deep, Mike, I guess, because I don't buy it.
You know what I noticed about the Super Bowl? Seriously? If you remember from years and years ago, when you saw the Super Bowl or any football game, every guy was massively big. And this year, they were all small, fast guys.
Game's changed.
Dude, they're not that small. Everyone
Yeah,
thought
really.
Eli Manning was small. Eli
Yeah,
Manning
they're
is
not
6'6", bro.
All right, well,
They're not small.
Well, I mean, compared to what they used to be, they used to be bulky and everything
Yeah, and
else.
slow.
Like the refrigerator. Remember him? You
Yeah,
know?
well, the game's changed.
It's a speed game.
It's a speed game now.
Yeah.
It's a quarterback offensive speed game. You know,
Well,
guys like Lawrence Taylor wouldn't make
Well, once they
make a
changed the
difference.
rules for it to be more
Yeah.
of a passing game, which they needed because the sport was dying. Now, nobody wants to watch 2 yards on a cloud of dust. Nobody.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, it's
So-
today's society, right? It's all changing.
So,
you guys,
instant gratification.
did you guys
baby.
enjoy any commercials?
Yeah.
What
No.
was your commercial?
I'm trying to think. You didn't like any of them? You never.
I don't like
them.
commercials. I don't like. I'm not going to buy your product. If you put on like a Honda commercial where it's like, here's the car, it costs $20,000. Okay, I get it. I don't need Jimmy Fallon in a wig like jumping around. It doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, no, Jimmy Fallon. I didn't like that one either. But
Oh,
there
Jimmy Fallon
I'm trying
was in
to
the
think of one-
commercial? I
one
just
that was
made that
really
up.
Funny. I'm trying to think of it. Oh, Groundhog Day.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
That was
That
a
was
bad-
all right, actually.
It was all right.
Yeah, that was the one that was all right.
You know, it's funny. Everybody's expectations are so high now, so it's like, all these commercials suck. It's like, come on, give it a break.
Well, that's
already.
what bugs me about the Super Bowl is I'm like you. I watch football every week of the year.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, wait, I got to be at a party where I got people going, shush, there's a commercial on. What? Like, I don't want it.
Yeah, but you know what? I got to be honest. At halftime, I was like, "Shush!" Told my wife, "Shut the fuck up." Shakira's shaking her ass.
I got to tell you, man, they could have done a lot worse than those two.
Oh my, a lot worse.
I saw it.
Best halftime show in the history of halftime shows. End of story.
I boycott it because I like watch something else, and then I'm like,
You
wait,
missed out, pal.
wait, no, well, I watched it on YouTube
Okay.
later on because I was like,
What,
I
like
gotta
2 in the
see-
morning?
Yeah.
With
Doing
YouTube
it by myself in the closet.
Honey, where you going? Just give me a few minutes.
I can't. I got the insomnias.
It was nice to watch,
Got the
43-year-old
insomnia.
Shakira still shaking it and everything like that. But the really cool thing was having J-Lo's daughter sing to her.
So it's funny that you brought that up because I was waiting to see people posting like, "Why couldn't you put an independent singer
yeah,
on
I
stage
saw that one.
with J Lo? Please, why are you putting your daughter up there?"
That's great.
It was incredible. The whole thing was incredible. How about the dancing? Was flawless.
Yeah.
Move for
Yeah.
flawless. Move for move.
Yeah.
That, my friends, was a halftime show.
And live, because last year, didn't they have part of it being pre-recorded?
Yep, I think so.
This time it was all live.
I got to be honest with you. I didn't really pay much attention to most of these nowadays halftime shows. You know, if I see Pitbull one more time, it's one time too many, right? It's like I was so afraid. Like I think the odds were 400 to 1 Pitbull was going to come on stage. Yeah, it's right.
You can't ruin something like that with like Pitbull. Like you gotta leave it alone.
Yeah,
leave it alone.
well-
We don't need the Red Hot Chili Peppers in the middle of Shakira.
That's right.
Thank you.
You don't need McCartney.
No,
First,
you don't.
You know what? Next to the Beatles performing, probably the best halftime show ever. Sorry to say.
Not really gonna
Hey, you know
happen
what?
anymore.
In fact, they could have just stayed on for the rest of the Super Bowl. I would have been perfectly fine with it all.
Well, here's my problem. I have a problem with the Super Bowl. And the problem is this. It's like Super Bowl parties. You got people talking about the Illuminati. Now, with those people, if a Thursday night football in October,
Yeah.
all right, Kansas City, San Francisco. No.
No, that's
No. So get on, stay in your own lane, enjoy the game, and stop telling me about Illuminati.
And again, here's the other problem I have. These coaches out there. Why do they got to be the smartest people on the field? It's like, holy cow, dude, you're going to win the game. Just run the ball. Run the clock. I'm just like, what are you doing passing the ball?
What about the guy, he's down 11 points. There's 1:10 left. And the coach of the 49ers is calling timeouts.
Dude.
And it's like, Dick, What are you doing?
Well,
You have no chance.
because he's angry because he should have ran the ball when he was up by 8 points or whatever it was.
Winner.
I'm like, why can't I be there? You know what I'm saying?
The best thing in my party was near the very end. It was like 0-3 or something like that, and the guy next to me is like, "I got it! I got the pool! I'm going to get the big money!" And then the guy runs. He stands. I'm like, "No, no!"
That's why gambling is bad.
That's why they call it gambling.
That's why they call you gambling. I want to recognize the theme song for Monty the Pharaoh, sung by our own Aqua Cherry. If you want to get Aqua Cherry's music, which the theme song is Straight to the Top, you can catch Aqua Cherry at aquacherryband.com. You can get their music on Spotify, Reverb Nation, and where music is sold. Chad White is the lead singer, and the secondary, I don't want to say backup singer. What is a singer that's on the...
It would be the co-lead singer, I guess.
So co-lead singer.
Yeah, I mean, if they...
Yes, singer?
No, so her name's Courtney. She's an incredible singer, and...
Yeah, I guess
Is she the soprano or something?
I don't know.
I don't know. She's pretty good looking, though.
She's got a nice voice, too.
She's got a great voice. Kidding me? Please.
That's a really good band, Aqua
Dude,
Cherry.
they are really good. I really think they're going to make it. Like, when I mean make it, like...
Yeah, make
you know
it
what
to
I mean by
radio
make
play.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, today radio plays radio play, right? I don't even think there's anything with radio play, right? Everybody's on whatever, so...
Yeah.
But, you know...
I think the big time now is, as far as radio play, would be Sirius. If you get onto one of the biggest stations on Sirius, you're doing well. Yeah. I mean, not like one of the auxiliaries like Canadian Rock or something. But like,
the auxiliary channel?
No, the auxiliary channel.
And we tune in on it. That's where Monty and the Pharaoh on it.
No,
auxiliary
Monty
channel.
The Pharaoh's going to be like XM channel.
Right next to Dan Romano's show.
Is it going to be possible that we get Monty and the Pharaoh's halftime show with Aqua Cherry?
That could be. Yeah. Actually, I'm trying to put something together, but we'll see if it works out.
J-Lo said no.
I want to talk about some of the upcoming events, which Jeff made the artwork. He does all our artwork, and he does an incredible job. In fact, I got fans out there always say, "Who does your artwork?" It is incredible. So kudos to you, sir. Yep, and your ad is on our commercial breaks. Anyway, February 29th, we have the Warlord from one half of Powers of Pain. You guys know anything about the Warlord?
Yes, scary.
He's a scary dude.
Scary guy.
Scary guy.
So it should be a little fun. And then on March 6th, we've got Jake the Snake Robertson, Hall of Famer.
That's awesome.
Jake the Snake, one of the most famous wrestlers of all time. Everybody knows who Jake the Snake Robertson is, right?
I might even come in and work the board, even though I am
I heard you may be here.
Even though I am terrified of animals.
And then we're at the big event with Tony Atlas and Sonny Beach, both WWE superstars.
Where is that?
That's in LaGuardia. You should come.
That's why I'm asking.
They got a really big event this year, man. They're going all out. You got Undertaker's there.
Really?
Braun Strowman is there.
Oh man!
Wow.
Bret Hart's there. Kevin Nash is there. Scott Hall is there. I know. But
Monty's going with his best
foot forward. You guys are going to have a table, correct?
We have a table.
That's outstanding. You should.
And we might have. I'm in negotiations with another wrestler right now, but we'll see. And on March 7th, when we return back to studio, Tony Atlas will be in studio with Pat Tanaka. Pat Tanaka was part of the Orient Express back in the day. We're going to do a Rocky Johnson tribute show. First, it was supposed to be an interview between the two, but Mr. Johnson unfortunately passed away. And we're going to do a little tribute show.
Nice.
And then right after that, we've got Greg Gagne, son of Vern Gagne, owner of the AWA, one of the big three back in the day. He'll be in studio, and it's widely known that my partner, Jimmy Farrow, hates Greg Gagne.
Yeah, that was weird. Not weird, it's just funny.
Right now he's yelling. He's yelling
at I don't hate him.
And then we've got the Killer Bees in studio right after that. And then the real good thing on Thursday, the dates changed, so I didn't get the banner changed, but the dates changed. The Rock and Roll Express will be here on Thursday, April 16th.
Oh, okay.
All right, so they'll be here live in studio. Rock and Roll Express have been around a long time, and they're getting widely known. They're part of NWA Power right now, so
really?
It's a big deal that they're actually in studio.
Oh, they're in NWA Power. Huh?
Yeah, they're on NWA Power.
Nice.
It's nothing better than watching 70-year-olds wrestle.
Oh, get him
next? Just shake my hand. Okay.
If anyone notices, Mr. Farrow is not next to me, and no, everybody, he didn't quit this time. It's all good. Jimmy had a death in the family, and I just want to say we're thinking about you, Jimmy.
Yes, our sincerest condolences to the Farrows.
He'll be back. He'll be back next week. Also want to send out a prayer to a friend of the show, Mr. Bill Pierce, on the loss of his uncle. Bill Pierce, part of Simply Splendid.
With Bobby C.
With Bobby C. And Bill was also a WWE wrestler.
Yes, he was.
So anyway, our prayers to both these gentlemen. You know, life can get tough. So, you know.
Family comes first.
Family first. That's right.
Always.
With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And we're back. All right, guys. Before I got here, some news came out. The WWE now is talking, in negotiations about giving their pay-per-view events to another streaming service. So meaning it will no longer be on the network.
Wow.
You'll have to pay for it.
That's not good.
That's not good.
I don't know, man.
Why isn't it good?
Well, I think you got a really good thing going with the network. I think the network really suits the fans well.
Wouldn't they be better off just raising the price of the network?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you went from $9.99 to $18.99,
I would do it.
You're not going to lose a lot of people.
But you take the pay-per-views off, I'm dumping it.
You're done, because then wait, I got to watch old wrestling now?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I like all the documentaries
I
and
do
stuff,
as well.
but knowing the pay-per-views are there, make it worth it.
Well, knowing the fact that the Royal Rumble's on Sunday, and if I don't happen to be home on Monday night, I can watch.
That's right.
That's
right.
the point.
Yeah.
Plus, how are you going to get new people if you got to pay for it if they haven't seen it in the first place? How are they going to know to pay for it? You know?
It's a good point.
I think it's a bad idea. I think, well, look, you just said it, and you are literally a wrestling expert.
Well,
no, I'm being sincere. Let's
not get crazy about
that.
that.
You just said that if that happens, you dump it.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I tell you this too. I won't buy a pay-per-view. I would never. Only reason I watch pay-per-views because it's on the network that I pay for $9.99.
That's the point. Yeah.
And I wouldn't do it any other way.
So if they raised it to like say $17.99,
I would still have it. It's worth it to me, right? There's enough programming for me to pay $17.99.
Right, and there's enough. There's one pay-per-view a month, basically, right? Yeah. So it pays for itself.
But then, thinking about the WWE, they're looking, right? Like NWA Power, AEW. People buying their pay-per-views, these New Japan pay-per-views, they're spending $50.
I don't get it. As a casual, like what they would call a mark or a fanboy,
Right.
which is what I am, is I'm not going to go. I stayed at a one product because it's the one I know. I don't want to get that deep into it. So I just.
Well, I say to Farrell all the time, I don't even understand. Like, I guess he watches more than I do, but if I don't know who these wrestlers are, what's the point? I don't get it.
No, it's like it would be like us putting on the Panamanian Baseball League. I don't know who the teams are. I'd rather watch Major League Baseball.
I got to tell you, there's really nothing on television, maybe This Is Us, that is must-watch television.
Not anymore, no.
No, it's not like I feel like I have, these MMA fights that come out. It's like when I was younger, would want to get it, but now it's like I'll just find out who won later on.
Yeah. Well,
or I'll find someone streaming it for free and just take it from
That's
them.
what boxing has turned into for me. It's like, I don't know any of these guys.
No.
It used to be like, it would be like Muhammad Ali versus Larry Holmes. You got to watch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Or Larry Holmes versus Jerry Cooney. I got to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's...
Can you even name who the heavyweight boxing champion is right now?
No.
Not a clue.
No.
Yeah.
Not a clue.
I think I know who it is, but I'm really not sure. And I couldn't tell you what belt he holds either.
No. I don't... No, but... I don't know, getting back to what you're saying, I think them taking pay-per-view off would lose so many people. I think it would lose a ton of people. Me and you are two of them.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, you're a wrestling guy.
Could you imagine paying $50 a pop once a month for a WWE pay-per-view? How about $20 a pop?
No, if it's
how much is it to go to the stadium?
A lot.
More than that?
What do you mean, to go to a wrestling match?
Go to a wrestling match. I mean, what's the lowest priced seats?
It's strange. In fact, I'll tell you this, Jeff. I've already said it. I'll never go to another live wrestling match again because they're annoying. The fans are annoying.
With the signs.
The signs. They walk around with their belts. I don't know. It's just like I'm too old. I'm just like, I guess I've become that guy. It's like I don't want to.
No, but I can understand it when someone has a sign in your face.
Yeah, it's like I want to watch the match. Or the better thing is, Back in the day, you would sit down. Like I always sat on the floor. You sit in a seat. You don't have to look. You
don't
get
have
up
to
when
stand up.
you're excited, and you sit back down. Basketball, baseball, football, same thing.
Yeah.
These wrestling fans, they stand the whole time, and they're not even watching. They're on their phones. You know, what are you doing filming on your phone the entrance of the Undertaker? What are you going to watch that in your bed at midnight? I mean, what are you doing with that?
I heard that Billy Joel at one of his last concerts at the Garden that he performed, that he said, "I'd like to take you guys back to the '80s. Can you all do me a favor and put your phones away and enjoy the song? And let's have a good time like we did in 1980 or whatever." That has got to be infuriating. Someone standing there with the phone up.
Absolutely.
And it's like, come on,
and again,
dude.
you're gonna video Billy Joel singing, and you'll post it because you want to show off. And after that, what are you doing with it?
Yeah, you want to show off. Look, I went to the Billy Joel concert. Yeah, you and 28 billion other people.
Now, if I go to a luxury box at the Jet game and Mandy Rose happens to be there and she
it's a
wants to
whole
hang
different
out,
animal, my friend.
that's a whole. Then you get your camera out.
Dude, someone said, "Oh, you're just showing off." I was backstage and
fuck yeah, I was showing off.
No, at Tommy James's birthday concert, right?
Yeah.
And he called out all his special guests, like the guys from The Sopranos, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to go too. And I sang Moni Moni with like 800 other people in front of 20,000 people. And I was like, I'm showing off now.
Then why not?
Because I earned that spot, obviously, with
that's
all,
right.
with all my hit records.
Well, hey. Well, guys, Donald Trump acquitted, right?
I'm over it.
Not according to Nancy Pelosi.
Well,
she said he was impeached.
He was impeached.
Yeah,
But he was
he was
acquitted.
impeached. He was acquitted.
He was impeached. Impeached and removal are two separate things.
Exactly.
Once you're impeached forever.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I would tell you, just like regular law, if you're going to force an impeachment, whoever's responsible for forcing our impeachment should have to be held responsible, and something should happen to that person.
Agreed.
You know,
When
it's
you know it's not gonna
frivolous.
work.
It's frivolous,
They
and
knew
it's
it
a
wasn't-
waste of taxpayer people's money.
When you know...
Here's the bill.
No, I agree with Mike. When you know the outcome, and the outcome's going to be acquittal, and you knew it. You weren't going to get a majority of
Listen,
senators.
if this country changed the way you sue people wouldn't be suing as often. Like if there was going to be
That's right.
some kind of retribution paid if you lose
Right,
your
there's a
case,
ramification.
people would think like, nah, maybe I'm not going to do this.
Right.
The same thing, you put the president through this, you're making us look stupid at this point. And then, the next thing is when he gets voted in again, then what, we're going to just
They're gonna
continue
go
on
through
with
it
the
again.
nonsense? It's
Yeah.
like, stop.
Yeah, stop.
Well, one thing I don't want to know about is a professional wrestler has to chime in about the president, right? Dave Bautista opening up his fat mouth. This is what he tweeted. "Dear God, I never asked you for shit. I'm begging.
classy.
Please, God, please let there be a debate between Senator Sanders and Donald Trump. Please, please. Let President Dum Dum stand there by himself and be exposed and humiliated by a decent man. I'll settle for an impeachment."
That's grown up calling him President Dum Dum.
Thoughts on that?
I have a problem with that because when the last time when President Trump was trying to be elected, I was going to vote for Bernie Sanders at that point.
Okay.
And I wound up voting for Trump instead because Sanders lost the bid. So now if he wins the bid, I don't know what I'm going to do.
There's nothing wrong with that, though.
That's your choice.
That's your choice.
Yeah.
But, I think De Niro was on the Grammys. I don't know if it was the Grammys or Golden Globes. It was Golden Globes. And, he was talking about, like, how people say that actors, athletes, they should keep their political agenda to the side because they have a lot of influence. Yeah. So De Niro, who Jim is not a fan of anymore,
okay.
I don't think any less of the guy, but he's basically said this. He has to use it because he has more power to make change, and he wants to make his statement. What are your thoughts about that? Person saying, "Hey, look, you've got a lot more power than me, so now you're going to influence people to think your way. You should shut up." And he is De Niro that right, and I want to influence people.
I don't think you should shut up the needle a little bit by standing up and going, "He's a scumbag. He's a scum." It's like, okay, now give me something.
Right.
Stop just repeating yourself. It becomes pablum. It becomes.
How about the fact that the president was voted in by the majority of the people, right? And I don't stop with the
electoral vote.
right? Stop with it because guess what? We would have nothing but a blue country if it was done by the majority amount of people.
Right.
California, New York, or no Republican tries to win New York, right?
Yeah,
I think I might have covered it a couple of shows ago. I can't remember, but it was Who was the last Republican president to win New York?
Was Reagan, right?
It was Reagan.
Yeah. But the thing is,
and it was close.
But I remember telling my kids when they were learning politics in school, I was like, don't go by New York because the polls close at 10 o'clock, and at 10 o'clock in 1 second, they call it for the Democratic candidate. I mean, and I'm not complaining, it's just fact.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
And they call it, and you read, and it says, and with 5% of the people,
they know
being
it.
counted, this guy won.
They know it.
5%.
That's why you'll never see a Republican candidate do any campaigning in New York. Why
no,
bother?
They don't.
They don't.
They go. That's
can't
why
afford to.
a little political knowledge. That's why they go to something called the swing states.
Well,
swing state means that it's an open state that they don't know who's going to win. It's not driven.
That's how Trump won in 2016 when Hillary Clinton was doing her 2-night victory lap in Brooklyn and Philadelphia. He was going between the Carolinas to Wisconsin to Pennsylvania and not Philadelphia, which he knew he wasn't going to get.
Right.
He was going to the coal mining town.
And you would think that Trump would have an advantage in New York, and he was smart enough to realize he still wasn't going to win it, no matter what he did here.
No, they knew, and he didn't do California either. Why bother?
All right, so let's bring it back to wrestling, guys. I know you don't watch AEW much, right? But they had something on last night where Cody Rhodes had to take 10 lashes from MJF. It was pretty brutal.
I would imagine.
And some people were upset about it.
Okay.
They felt it was a little too
graphic
for television. And I'm thinking to myself, what happened to the days when I was watching wrestling, right, with Sergeant Slaughter against Pat Patterson?
That's right.
When they were whipping each other to death and all the, the Abdullah the Butcher and the Bruiser Brody matches that went on.
Bloody and brutal and grotesque.
Picking up a metal chair and
No, I mean they were.
back.
No, that was the least of it with Brody and Abdullah.
Oh my God, yeah.
They were bloody wrecks.
But they did a really good job last night. But the one thing I want to talk about, there's a serious wrestling broadcast called Busted Open Radio. It's very popular, and it's the radio host is Dave LaGreca. So LaGreca tries to get into this Twitter war with this guy MJF, and MJF basically says that he's going to ejaculate on LaGreca's wife's face.
Ooh,
so supposedly he's LaGreca's very angry and he wants something done about it, and MJF calls up. Anyway, long story short, obviously it was a work, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But people started, this is a nationwide program where a lot of people are calling in. People started talking about they're going to kill MJF. And now you hear LaGreca back it off going, all right, we're not looking for that type of stuff. I understand that you're standing. I'll say you're scared. But anyway, someone out of the crowd attacked MJF last night. And the rumor has it that it was LaGreca. But all I'm going to say this. If it is Dave LaGreca, give it up because it's the worst angle I ever saw. Just give it up. It's
just
terrible.
bad, right?
It's just bad, dude.
And can I just address something for a second, what you said? If people are so offended, change the channel.
Yeah,
sure.
Change the channel. Are we that Puritan? Are we going back to that where if, you got to take it off the air, blah, 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 yada, yada.
I just don't understand why everybody has to have an opinion about something. Going back to the halftime show, it's like people complaining it was too sexual. Stop.
What? Plus, it's 10 o'clock.
Sells.
It's 10 o'clock at night. And you know what? When okay, Mike, you're a parent.
Yep.
When you heard it was Shakira and J-Lo, did you think it was going to be age appropriate for like a 6-year-old? No, of course not.
Dude, honestly, I don't think women dance. I don't think women dancing who dance well. By the way, they're professional dancers. They're great and they're great singers. Yes. You know what? There's nothing wrong. There's just nothing wrong with it. It's utterly ridiculous. And like you said, turn off the television.
Turn the channel.
Oh my God! Like I always say, you don't like this country, you want to shit all over it? Leave.
Bye.
Go to Canada.
Bye.
Go to China.
And it's entertainment. That's all it is.
Right. So if you want to see someone whipped with a belt 10 times and they're bleeding, that's entertainment.
There are some people who actually like to see that.
I enjoyed it.
Funny.
I think it's
I think it's entertaining.
It's smart and funny.
It's smart and funny.
I agree.
It's like the Seinfeld of wrestling.
All right, so I want to tell you guys something cool happened to me last night. So I've been a little, since last Thursday, I've been, colds going around. I'm getting over it or whatever else. But I hurt my back cough. I couldn't sleep. So last night, my phone goes off. And it's a message to the Monty and the Pharaoh page. It's basically saying, hey, I caught your show on YouTube. I went looking for you guys on Facebook. I love the show. I was wondering if you talk about certain wrestlers specifically. And if you do, if I give you a wrestler's name, can you send me some clips from the show? So I'm like, yeah, go ahead. So I'm up. So I'm like, who are you looking for? She goes, Adrian Adonis. So I go, that's kind of funny because
Adorable
me and the
Adrian.
Pharaoh are big fans of Adrian Adonis.
Yeah.
And we've asked many wrestlers about, there's a lot of clips on YouTube about our questions about Adrian Adonis. It ends up being this is Adrian Adonis's daughter.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
She lost him when she was 8. She doesn't really remember him. And she wanted to see if she could hear stories from wrestlers talking about him.
Right.
So I said, I'm going to send you these clips and I'll send you the links, but I want you to understand that your father wasn't liked very much. And
Look, you give her a heads up.
Yeah, I said, and again, this is the opinion of the wrestler, it's not opinion of the show. We were big fans of him, but I don't want you to get upset over it. Anyway, she responded. She said that she pretty much understands that it's true. So,
that's too bad.
and she said a couple other things that were pretty wild. But anyway, I just wanted to say the power of Village Connection Media and the power of the show.
No, it's the power of the show, bro.
Adrian Adonis's daughter calling.
It's
Right?
the power of the show. You guys have really you've really turned it up many notches.
I appreciate it, man.
No,
It's
that's
with
true.
all help from you guys. All right, guys. Stock market news. WWE's in trouble.
Uh-oh.
The stock is dropping at a rapid pace, even though
Time to buy.
they've announced probably the highest revenues they've had last quarter.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, it does because the Saudi Arabia deal and the Fox deal.
Okay, Fox.
All right.
Yeah.
So with those two deals, since the stock has been dropping, the big news is that Vince McMahon has let go of his 2 co-presidents, George Biaros. George owned 74,678 units of World Wrestling Entertainment stock, worth about $7 million.
No shoot.
Yeah. Wow. And Michelle Wilson, she owns about 158,000 shares at $37 million.
That's it?
Interesting enough, Miss Wilson recently sold $11 million worth of stock, which is 80% of her shares.
Wow.
Interesting. Very
So both were let go,
Yeah.
and as I guess as a reaction to what's going on, the market basically is saying that viewership is down, house shows are down,
Okay.
revenues are up.
That's crazy.
So let's talk about that, right? So anti-WWE guys,
Yes.
very happy this is happening for whatever reason.
Which makes no sense because if the big guy does bad, the little guys are going to do bad.
Well, we just talked about cable, must-see television. We just talked
Right,
about
right,
football.
right, right.
Everybody's revenues are down, right? Football,
Right.
Our viewerships are down, right? Nothing is must-see TV. If you want to catch Raw, you don't have to catch it Monday night.
You don't have to watch it.
You can actually watch on a network in about 8 minutes and catch everything you need to catch if you're really into it.
Well, or the DVR. Yeah, DVR, I
That-
can watch it whenever the hell
that's
I want.
right.
I don't got to sit here.
That's right.
Full.
Yeah, but
But it was must-see. Back then, look, this is why I keep standing by this network for this exact example. We've got quality shows.
yes.
Right? Thursday nights, we've got some really quality shows. But as much as I might love all these shows, I may not have time to watch it on a Thursday.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit by my
I might
computer
watch
for
it at
4
5 in the
hours.
morning when I'm on my
Right,
way into
right.
work. I might be on the treadmill at the gym on a Sunday and catch up on what's going on here Thursday.
Well, the one thing I can jump to is the Olympics. People say, "Oh, we would never go up against the Olympics." The Olympics are not the big draw anymore because there's a million. It used to be it was the Olympics, and everyone. Remember when we were kids?
Yeah.
You sat and watched the Olympics no matter what because it was the Olympics. Now you have 8,000 other choices. I'm not going to watch skeet shooting.
I got to be honest with you. When the Olympics come on, I get pissed off. It's like I don't want to watch crap. Put it on some obscure channel up in like 300s.
Right, right.
And if someone really wants to watch the Olympics, go find
there.
it.
Well, that's what they do with some, like on CN, they use CNBC, MSNBC.
Right.
for a lot of those events, which is fine. I don't care about show jumping with horses. I don't care who's the best in the world.
Plus the fact that when we were kids, or at least when I was a kid, and you wanted to watch the Olympics, it was on one channel.
Yeah,
and that was it. It was every single
right.
night, and it was so much stuff. And some of it was pre-recorded, and some of it was live, and what have not. Now it's on 3 or 4 separate channels at the same time.
Well, you think about this. The only time I can remember really wanting to watch an Olympic event was that ice hockey match against the Russians. And by the way, you had to watch it pre-taped delay, and you already knew they won.
Yeah, because they were keep the secret.
People jumping through the.
Yeah, it was in 9th grade. No one kept.
The only must-see television is Channel 115 from 8:30 to 9 p.m. on Tuesdays. Monty and the Pharaoh. That's right.
It's
Saturday at 6 a.m. That's right.
6 o'clock? No, it's must-see.
My wife was like, "Do you want to have sex?" I go, "No, I'm watching Monty and the Pharaoh at 6 a.m. Sorry."
Would you like some breakfast?
By the way, legitimately though, is every time the show comes on, my wife gets up and she leaves.
Really?
She
here's the funny thing. My mother loves the Monty and the Pharaoh show. It's my mom's birthday.
Because you're on. Oh, happy birthday, Mom.
It has nothing to do with me.
But you're on all the time,
every
dude.
now and then she'll be like, I heard your voice. And I'm like, okay, go back to sleep.
You're on all the shows, dude. It's hilarious.
She doesn't like wrestling. She's like, I think those two, the Monty and the Pharaoh, they're funny.
So she doesn't watch Miller and the Rockstar?
No.
Oh.
No.
We got to get them on cable.
Because I use, she says I use poor language sometimes.
The WWE signed Killer Cross.
Killer Cross.
That's a name.
Wow, that's a weird name.
So Killer Cross, I think most recently was in TNA and had some contractual issues. So they signed him. They're hoping to make a big difference there. He's huge. He was he's in Lucha Underground. And they also signed a guy by the name of Timothy Thatcher. Don't ask me the hell that is. So I have no idea. If Pharaoh was here, he'd be like, "Oh man, you gotta watch Timothy Thatcher. That guy was incredible. I saw him back. I saw him back in New Japan in October, and the guy was incredible." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever, dude. Really." All right, Pharaoh. AEW president Tony Khan revealed his 4 Mount Rushmore wrestlers. Do you guys want to tell me if you agree with this?
Go ahead.
The Mount Rushmore of wrestlers.
Wrestling.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Right.
His champion, La Champion, Chris Jericho.
All right.
Maybe.
I guess Farrah would probably agree with that. Maybe. I don't know. Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bret Hart. And Steve Austin.
Steve Austin, yes. I would have. How? You know what? Anybody who does anything and doesn't put Hulk Hogan on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I was about to say that.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Same thing goes with Randy Savage.
No, that guy.
Randy. Look, if someone put Randy on there, I can't disagree. Okay,
without
but
Hogan, there's no Randy.
We'll talk about Macho Man Elizabeth a little later on. It's funny, you guys. It's funny you brought him up. We're going to talk about him later in the script, but I agree with Miller. Hogan's got to be on there.
Yes.
End of story.
Yes.
Period. Without Hogan, wrestling is not what it is.
And, I'm sorry. If someone didn't want to put Ric Flair up there, I'm not going to argue it. I could understand not putting Ric Flair up. If someone said Hogan, Undertaker, Rock.
Yeah. I agree.
You go, oh, yeah, I guess so.
And if someone said Hogan, The Rock, Austin, and Bruno Sammartino, I could say, there you go.
You can't argue.
Can't argue. Or Andre the Giant.
Can't argue.
Maybe we need a bigger mountain and more heads.
Andre trying to get stiffed, man.
Andre gets
stiffed.
He was very big. He not big just stature-wise, but,
He's huge.
He was bigger than big,
I still liked him in The Princess Bride. He had the best part.
Get me a peanut. Anybody want a peanut? All right. On Sports Illustrated, John Cena said, quote, "It was great to be able to watch it as a fan and not endure the fear of missing out such an enjoyable event. In sincerity, I believe Brock Lesnar is the best in-ring performer I've seen, and I know it's an opinion. And if you want a cool quote, here it is. I think he's the best in-ring performer of all time. I thought his performance at the Rumble was a clinic on how to establish yourself, how to establish those around you, establish a championship, establish the importance of one event. He did so in less than 30 minutes, and I certainly don't have the skill set to do that. It was awesome to be able to see the masterclassmen put a clinic on what to do and how to do it, and I was really impressed at the Rumble."
Wow.
That's a long quote.
Quite an endorsement.
Thoughts on that?
I don't think he's wrong. I mean,
a lot of the wrestlers out there are saying Lesnar's great, but he's not the greatest of all time.
I could see that, but Lesnar, let's see.
Does he go on the Mount Rushmore? If someone said
Not
Lesnar's
yet.
on Mount,
Not
see?
yet.
So then you don't think he's the greatest?
No, but I agree with something that Cena said, which is the fact that the guy captivates an audience. He captivates the audience.
He
That's
is
the
big
key.
time. Big time.
Thank you. And you said a couple of weeks ago, remember when you were going through who's got it? He's got it. He don't even speak, and he's got it.
Our main man Joey out there saying Adrian Adonis was a great talent. Adrian was a great talent.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. But, Jeff, this is the first time being on the show. We're going to, after the commercial break, we're going to go to my favorite part, which is called the most annoying pro wrestling experts. And usually I read a quote,
Okay.
but we're going to play a video.
All right.
Oh, boy.
And once the video is done, I want you all to weigh in on it because I got to tell you something. Anyway, let's do a commercial break.
Do I have to go around the back here?
You could just listen, I think. All right, we're back, and we're going to go to my favorite part of the show, the most annoying pro wrestling expert.
We're still alive.
All right, so we're gonna go to
it's
this
on.
video.
Now we're gonna go to the annoying video. Hold on 1 second.
All right.
Can you play it
It's
out?
Mike Messier. I just want
It's
to
going out onto the
give
the
some
people are hearing it.
Oh, good. I'll put it on so
unsolicited
you
but
can hear it.
heartfelt advice to another New Englander, John Cena. Yes, John Cena. You may not remember me, but you and I have met a few times. One time we met, I had a very large storyline, wrestling storyline. And I asked you if you would take it and see if you could help me out, get that to the proper people at WWE, take a look at it yourself. And you said you would. You said you'd definitely get it to the right people. A few weeks later, I got a phone call from Mohegan Sun Arena. Mohegan Sun was where I handed you this storyline. I believe you were the United States champion at the time. This was some time ago. And I got a phone call from a 207 area code. My little heart went aflutter because I thought it was the WWE calling me to tell me that they were so fascinated by my storyline that John Cena, the U.S. champion, handed them and built me up and all that stuff. But actually the 207 was from Mohegan Sun itself. The head of janitorial services at Mohegan Sun told me that my giant storyline appeared in a trash bin in one of the hotel rooms and that he saw my name on it. It looked very important. And for what it's worth, the janitorial service guy thought it was important, John. Apparently you didn't. So my storyline never quite reached the headquarters of WWE. But putting all of that aside, John, from one fella to another guy who's been around the block, lived and loved and lost. I know you're going through some heartache right now, and I'm going to make you an offer strictly out of one fella to another. Nothing to do with wrestling or storylines or Mohegan Suns or anything. And from one reality TV star to another. As people know, I'm the host of Messier Mantra, my interview show, the Pro Wrestling Rants on YouTube, all the things that I'm up to. And people love me and adore me. And, Vince Russo interviewing me and my IMDb rating going up 89,365 ranks in 1 week. The Manor, a feature film that I co-wrote, actually lead wrote, and co-starred in, and some might say did quite well in, being released this week. So I have some things going on, John, but from one fellow to another, look, this is what I'm going to do, okay? At your thumbs up, I will meet you halfway. I will meet you in a Hooters in, let's say, Charlotte, North Carolina. We will meet. I will buy you a chicken sandwich, and we will discuss women. We will discuss life, film, wrestling if you want. Just men meeting, discussing things. I have some advice I can give you. I don't want to, take the time right now on the internet, but
There you go. You're back.
I can't anymore. All right. I can't, dude.
What the hell, bro?
All right, so weigh in. You guys heard it. Tell me your thoughts.
Well, as one man to another.
Who's lived, loved, learned,
Live,
lost.
love, learned. That's the other thing. I gotta wonder if did his information, did his story wind up in the trash before it got to Cena, or after it got to Cena?
So according to this story, it seems he saw John, and he went up to John and said, "Hey, I'm a writer, and I've got this storyline." And John Cena said, "You know what? I'm going to take your storyline. I'm bringing it to the top because I haven't read it. I'm just going to take it because on your word, I'm going to say it's good.
You're good. I can tell you're good.
You're good."
Yes.
And I guess John threw it in the garbage, which probably is the funniest part of the story.
Cena was probably being nice to him, saying, "Oh, okay, I'll take it," rather than be a dick and say, "Get lost."
That's a good point right there.
That's what he did.
So do you think, would you be upset
No.
if that you found out that your shit was thrown in the garbage?
No, first of all, I wouldn't walk up to a wrestler and say, "Look at my storyline. I'm smart." That would be like me as a writer walking up to Random House. "Here's my book. Here's my book, President of Random House.
Yeah.
Here, publish it."
Listen, I got to give him credit because to me it's a very funny story. I mean, could you imagine your phone is ringing, you gave someone famous your story.
Yes.
Your phone is ringing, you're like, "This is it.
Cena bought it.
They're gonna do it." "Hi, this is a janitorial service.
Hi, this is Stash from the Hilton.
I can't.
We found your script in the garbage."
Oh my God.
I read your stuff.
I
It's
read
pretty
your
good,
stuff.
but I
Oh my God.
No, but think about it. Like, well, where do you get your balls?
It smells
to
like
think
bananas.
like that would be like me and you, like, "Hey, you know what? We got a good idea for a Bray Wyatt angle. Let's drive up to Connecticut and walk in and go, I'd like to see Vince.
Vince, please."
I'd like to see Triple H. He's not expecting me, but send me right up."
There's a reason why the people under them are called the gatekeepers.
Yeah.
And don't let them in. So the fact that he even got it into Cena's hands, he should consider that a win. Even
That's
if the guy
funny.
did.
That is, you know what, Jeff? That's right. It is a win that he actually got it to Cena. But then on the other hand, do you think? But do you think people are out of line to put someone in that kind of situation? Like,
absolutely.
John Cena's a human being, right? He's like, "Oh, here's this guy. He might think the guy's mildly retarded, right?" And he can be like, "Oh, now I got to take this fucking guy's script."
You know, I knew a guy whose brother was an all-pro linebacker for the Lions, and he's playing in the Pro Bowl, and it's a situation like that. He's like, "We go out with a bunch of us." Now, I heard the story secondhand. I didn't hear it from him.
Okay.
His brother's telling me the story. It's like, "We go out in Honolulu," and he goes, "You have all these fans, like we're at a bar, and they're sending over drinks." And it's like, I don't want to hang out with them. They're like 40-year-old guys.
Right.
So if I accept the drink, I got to hang out with them.
That's right.
If I turn down the drink, I'm a dick.
It's a tough situation.
So he's like, "You know what we did?" I'm like, "No, what did he do?" And he's like, "They went back to the hotel, which was for the NFL, and just sat by the pool and had a couple of beers."
Makes all the sense in the world.
It's a bad situation that Cena was in.
So there's two lines of thinking.
Yes,
it's
sir.
like, why do people feel like they have the right to put pressure on someone like that? Right. Anyway,
yeah.
It's like you said, there's proper channels, right? You go to the
People are
WWE,
nervy.
you go, listen, it's widely known, right? I've got friends in the WWE, right? I don't call them.
"Hey, I got this idea.
I got this show, and help me out.
Yeah. No, but it's
about a fat guy and a lunatic.
But that's a gentleman who says, like, "I'm not going to impose on my friends with my shit."
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think Favreau's that fat.
Oh, it's talking about myself.
No,
the lunatic is Pharaoh. No,
but there are,
I know.
I think some people are also delusional that they sit in their living rooms and think, "Oh, I could do better than that. I got a better idea than
Well,
that."
honestly, the guy, listen, I do know the guy. He's very articulate, very smart guy.
Yeah, okay.
He's one of the many movie makers we've run across. Everybody's a movie maker, everybody's an actor, I get it. But listen, more talented than I am, for sure. My only point is that I just think there's a big set of balls to do that type of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just out of line.
I agree.
No one owes anybody anything.
Here's the thing. I heard I won't mention a rock star on TV who got called a dick for saying it. I think it was Springsteen, actually, who said that, I get bombarded in airports and all that. He goes, "You gave me your money, I performed for you. You enjoyed it. That's the end of it. That's what I owe you. I owe you my best performance.
No, but you're looking at two different things. We're talking autographed pictures and
Right.
actually someone to do so. Look, I also get the autographed picture thing too. It's like I've ran into famous people who are in the same restaurant as I am, and I just don't have the balls to go up there and interrupt their.
See, I wouldn't either. I'm with you on
and
that.
some of them will actually turn to you and say, "Listen, I'm enjoying my dinner with my family.
My family. This is
It's not
my time.
bothering me right now." Some of them will sit there and go, "Oh, sure, no problem. Let me take a quick selfie with you." You know, it depends on the person and at the situation that they're in. And as far as this situation goes, there's a couple things that could have happened that he doesn't know about. He knows that he gave it to Cena.
Right.
That's where he left it. He doesn't know if Cena took it and threw it in the garbage, or
Yep.
Cena has people working for him. They said, "Here, check this out for me," and the guy he gave it to threw it in the garbage,
Right.
or whatever. Because the truth of the matter is, this is not the only person that happens to go up.
It's a
to
really
Cena
good
like
point,
this.
Jeff. It's a great point.
He probably gets, on average, 20 people a week coming up to him and saying, "Hey."
How many actors have to read scripts for their agent? They hire people to read the script for them.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Of course.
Yeah. So that's a really good point. So maybe John really didn't do that.
It's very possible.
He might have just said, "Hey, this is a
You
guy
do
who
it."
works for me. Give it a look. Tell me what you think."
Right.
And the guy's probably maybe the
Well-
guy read it. Maybe he didn't read it. Maybe just threw it in the trash. Like you
Well,
said, it's a really great point.
I know from experience, every publishing agent, you got to go through 3 interns who look at your stuff before you get even to the agent. So if you get denied, like you send what's called the query letter about your book to an agency,
Right.
the agent don't read it. It's their intern or their assistant who reads it. It don't get to the agent until it gets okayed.
All right, but truth, ready? Truth,
Yes, truth.
okay? Real life. I don't know if these, look, man, this is a very strange world, this wrestling world.
Yes.
And right, I don't know if these people have jobs or whatever else, but just talk about the job market. You send your resume out, it goes to a computer.
Yeah.
A computer will vet it before it even gets to an
Exactly.
HR person. So it's like, this is the real world. And it's like no one owes you anything.
No.
And guess what? If you're meant to be a writer for the WWE, you'll be a writer for the WWE.
That's it.
If it's not in the cards, you're not going to be one.
You know what? Nobody goes through, unless you're related to somebody there, nobody jumps the 5 hurdles. You don't go to the front of the line just because you happen to see John Cena in the airport.
What
or
about
wherever.
J-Lo's kid? She
Yeah,
got to
but you know what?
perform.
But J-Lo's
But she knew
kid.
somebody.
But J-Lo's
There you go.
kid is J-Lo.
That's right.
Sorry. If people are bitter about that, too bad. Because who am I going to do? Like,
Hey.
let me ask you, if you had the choice of hiring my kid or your kid the same age for your company, you're going to hire your kid.
Bro, you know what? To be honest with you, you could ask my daughter. This is a true story. I fired her. She worked for me, and I fired her.
Okay.
I got fired by my father.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, my
awesome.
daughter throws that in my face all the time. But she wasn't performing.
Okay, now that's another thing. But I'm saying initially, if your daughter's got the same education level as mine and they're competing for the same job,
Listen, bro,
and
I tell the guys who work for me all the time, it's not always about what you know, it's who you
it's
know.
who you know.
It's
and
who
that's-
you know.
But that's not. But that's the way it's been in time and
That's the way it
memoriam,
should be.
And it's the way it should be.
You know what? If you're a
Absolutely.
dick or you're arrogant or you're fucking crazy making YouTube videos,
Yes. Yes.
no one's gonna fucking hire you. You're fucking out of your mind.
Or maybe,
But wait a minute, back
Cena's assistant looked him up on YouTube and said this guy's a whack job.
Yeah, great point. I don't want him working in the office.
I don't want him in here.
Maybe they said this dude's brilliant, but he's out of his
But he
fucking
can't-
gourd.
It obviously can't work with others, and we need input from everybody, not just one whack job.
But you're bringing that up about YouTube.
Am I wrong? I don't know this guy
Let
at all.
me tell you
so.
something about YouTube. You can have your own YouTube channel.
Yes.
You could make your own stuff and publish it up there. And
Right.
just like Monty Nefaro is seen by the daughter of a famous wrestler, somebody out there is watching these YouTube videos, and if you do something the right way, you're going to get noticed. Look at Justin Bieber. He became famous through his YouTube videos.
Yep.
And he made it. But he's one out of 50 million people who have tried it. But you got to try it.
Listen, but that's a problem with today's society, right? For every Justin Bieber or Billie Eilish, right?
Yeah.
There's a million other ones trying the same thing. It
Yeah,
doesn't
who-
fly.
No.
You know what? Listen. You do the best you can, and the way the cards lay, they lay, and this is all you can do.
Well, you know what? I also think that people don't want to work hard.
Of course not.
I think it's like,
It's very easy to go do a YouTube
I'm going to jump.
shoot.
No, but with this guy with Cena, I'm going to jump the 10 hurdles. Everyone else got to jump 10 hurdles to even get in the door. Not me. I'm just walking around the hurdles. And
use
handing
the
Cena.
station is simple, right? So again, since I've been in this little world, or it's a big world now.
Yes.
Is everybody wants a radio show. Everybody wants a television show, right?
Yeah.
But this is a professional studio, right? I say it all the time. It's pay to play, right? You want to do a show here? It's professional, right? You want sponsors. Right. You want this type of stuff. Right. This is what you have to do. But all these people that want to make it, that like you're saying, no, they'll just get a camera from Best Buy for $48, throw it in front of them, and they'll do it in their basement with their pal, and they think someone's going to cross YouTube and go, wow, these guys are brilliant.
Yeah. I haven't seen anything like them since Wayne's World.
Right. No, but it's the whole jump in the thing, and I don't mean to.
Dude, there's this guy Don Tony, right? He's been doing this shit for 20-something years, right? He did like hotlines. He's doing pro wrestling stuff. The guy thinks he's God.
Right.
He's a fucking insurance salesman in Brooklyn.
Right.
And he's 50 years old.
Right.
It's like, give it a break.
Yeah, you're nothing. So,
yeah, really.
Listen, I say on a personal level, I have a book out. It's doing well.
But that's real.
But it's real. And I went through every single step of the thing. I can't tell you how many times I got rejected where it's like, okay, they want something else. And then you latch on. I shouldn't say like a leech or whatever, but
hold on.
You jump onto the right
position. Hold on. Let's give the book a pop, right?
No, that's not what it's about.
But the point of the matter is it's a singer of a famous band who hired a real writer, a professional writer,
and
not his friend.
No.
Hey, could you write my book for me? And I'm gonna self-publish it, and someone's gonna buy millions of copies of it because my life is so exciting.
Right.
No, it's not.
It's not.
No, and
it's like you're fucking making YouTube videos in your basement.
Right. At least thank you for saying that, because you guys. The same way. You sit here with the Pharaoh, who know you know what you're talking about. A, the people you bring in as guests, everybody knows. B, you're not bringing in jumping Johnny Jerkoff.
Well, testify to this, right?
Yes.
So for non-professionals, which we are, okay,
I disagree.
But we're non-professionals. For people that don't know behind the scenes, what do these wrestlers say and they're not blowing smoke up anyone's ass?
They love it here.
That's
they
right.
love coming to this show.
Here. That's right.
You
can see it on their faces, number one, and they don't have to say it, right? They come in, they do it, they leave. They say it.
They say they say it after the cameras are off.
Let me tell you something. One of the best things I heard, and it was said to me away from you guys, was Buff Bagwell. And he was like, I produced that night, and he was like, thank you so much, brother, blah, 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 blah. He goes, yo, that was the bomb. Those guys were great. I liked the studio. Those guys were great. They knew what they were talking about. He must have said it 5 times. They knew what they were talking about. That's professionalism. That's not a couple of jerk-offs sitting on a couch saying, remember the time you fought? Wasn't that awesome?
But that's why I'm bringing it up, because I listen to these podcasts because I like to listen to them and see what people are doing. And some are actually pretty good, right?
Right.
But they're so full of themselves and they work. They don't do anything. Like they don't work hard. You don't hire a professional studio. They don't go hustling for sponsors, right? And try to give their sponsors something back for what they're giving them. So it's like the reality of they sit there and talk about how great their show is and how many downloads they got or whatever else. No, the reality of it is, man, I've got guys that have been interviewed by thousands and thousands of reporters through their entire life.
Right.
And when they turn around and say, quote, this is the best interview I've ever been on. It's not just one guy.
Larry Zabisco.
There's like 10 guys. And I don't sit here and go, oh, by the way, this is what happened. But it's like, I'm so tired of it. Do some work.
You know what? And I'm not blowing your horn. I'm not throwing roses. I'm being honest. No. The amount of work that you guys put into your show is fantastic.
I appreciate that.
No. It's meant as truth. I wouldn't say it
polished.
It's like, it's polished. We might have a technical problem or whatever. Shit, no, that happens. Listen, I never took a class. I'm learning on the fly too. But I'm trying to be professional. But these guys walk in. You guys walk in, and you got it knocked. Boom,
and you know what the other thing too is, the partner here is so passionate about what he's talking about.
Oh yeah.
But he's super passionate,
and it's real.
And it's exactly. He's not. There's not an agenda like these other guys.
No.
They want to be the smartest guy in the room. They want to act like they know everything. Yeah, damn right. You could probably name every Japanese wrestler out that had no fucking clue. I don't know. Right? I don't watch it. I don't know what to tell you. Right?
You know
I couldn't. Let me tell you something. Wrestling's different now. These guys could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know who the hell they were.
Right.
Okay? Some other guys would know who they are. So it's great. You know all the stuff about it. You pay your $50 every week and you watch all this bullshit or whatever else and you be the one that says it.
You know
I got that guy right here. This guy knows everything.
Yeah, but you know what you and the Pharaoh do that nobody else does in that world? When you have Scott Hall, for instance, sitting in that chair, friggin' Hall of Famer, you listen to him and you roll off that. Rather than sitting there, you see the host and you see them who, they're not listening, they're coming up with something in their head, what they're going to say, where you're rolling with it. And that takes A, professionalism, B, intellect, and C, timing, which the two of you have.
Well, the reality, Steve, and this is the honest truth, when we started this back when we were at that other studio, the one thing I said to him and we used to talk about is we just want to entertain one person. If we can make a difference in one person's life, then it's worth it. So, again, people aren't watching the show necessarily to listen to me and him when Scott Hall's sitting in that chair. They want to listen to Scott Hall.
Right.
Again, we're not going to break away what we do here, right? We don't want to do the regular bullshit shtick, right? I want to know about shit that no one else knows about. I don't want, again, you can regurgitate how the NWO was formed a gazillion times. I don't give a shit.
And everyone's heard it.
I know. So who needs to hear it?
Well, that's the point, is the fact that you, which I always found funny. This is my favorite Monty thing. How much you make, WrestleMania 1?
Because that's what I want to know.
And he didn't mind.
That's right.
Flat out.
I want to know how much cash you brought home.
Enough to buy a car.
That's right. And that's all. Look, you want to know how much cash these guys. You want to know how many women they were banging.
When they went on the Jews.
I mean, you had Sandman in here talking about how you OD'd in the back of a car.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to know about.
Hear about the time.
I don't want to hear about the time you Singapore Kane Tommy Dreamer. Who gives a shit?
That's the point.
Farrell right now be like, you're out of your mind. I do.
Yeah, I know.
The guy telling you about his parrot that died in the fire.
What was that? That story was incredible.
That was an incredible
guy
story.
was crying.
How about Butch Reed talking about Junkyard Dog?
Butch Reed sitting here crying. Well,
Barry Windham talking about Mike Graham who shot himself in the head.
Barry Windham, damn it. I do remember.
You could see these guys. I tell them all the time. You see them. They forget where they are because they're thinking about their lives. Yeah, the mask comes off.
Yeah. The show stops and it becomes reality.
Well, anyway, I want to thank Mike Messier for that wonderful video.
Is that who that was?
That was
Mark Messier.
Mike Messier.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're running out of time, so I'm going to run through this pretty quick, okay? Former WWE powerhouse Ryback has taken to Twitter and requested Vince McMahon, Triple H, and the WWE company to sever all ties with the big guy, and allowed him to have his trademark back.
Oh, dear.
Thoughts on that?
There's something about that does ring for me, like, throw the guy a bone. Throw the guy a bone. Let him have his trademark. What's it going to kill you if he goes? I mean,
I don't know. You just mentioned on Mill and the Rockstar, superstar Billy Graham, right?
Yes.
They threw that guy 80 bones, and he just keeps biting them no matter what they do.
No, that I agree with. That's the most bitter guy I've ever seen in my life. Literally the most bitter man.
And by the way, I saw an old picture. I got pictures of him in my room. I was a fan of his. That guy was built like a brick shithouse.
He was, and he worked out with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That was his big.
So you say throw the guy a bone? Just let him have his name back.
And you know what? If he's a dick and does like the superstar Billy Graham shit, then you learn your lesson again. But I don't think that's a big deal. I don't know. I don't know. We might disagree on that, but I don't think it's.
I don't know. Part of me feels like, you know what? You own it. You made the name Ryback, meaning the WWE. Mm-hmm. I don't owe you anything. I paid you your paycheck.
Yeah, and he gave him the number that he asked to pay for it.
That's it.
So pay it.
Yeah, give me $200,000. You can have your fucking name back.
I would say, hey Vince, how about 100? Come on, let's meet in the middle somewhere or whatever. Yeah. But you know what? I am so sick, and I know you're going to agree with me, of Vince McMahon haters, where it's like, oh, Vince McMahon, he's a billionaire. So what? So what? He built something that. It drives me nuts.
Listen, again, I want to see those same people that are sick of Vince McMahon. I want to see how much they donate to charities every year. Yeah. That's what. Give me your taxes. I want to see what you're doing. You know what I would do if I was McMahon? This I'd do. You want your name back? Okay. Guess what? Any residual from the network you get when anyone looks at your videos is now mine. Yeah. You get no residuals.
You get zero.
You sign out your residuals, have your name back.
Yeah.
See how quick ride back goes now.
I agree.
Keep the name.
All I can
Yeah.
tell you about the McMahon family, what I know from personal experience, is someone that was very close to me went to a private college in Connecticut. And the McMahon family, one of the buildings is named after Linda McMahon. One of the dining halls is called Linda's. Then there's Vince's, like little pop. And you know why? Because the McMahon family gave millions to this particular institution.
How about what they do for cancer?
What about thank you.
No one even, all these haters. I mean, oh my God, what they do for
charity.
You know, I'm stealing Pharaoh's thunder, but he was going to say this. And how come no one mentions how the WWE set up with John Cena and Make-A-Wish? And how many lives John Cena has changed
yes.
because of the WWE. Not because, right? Because of Vince
Not because
McMahon.
of the movie The Marine.
That's right.
It was because of, think about it.
He's changed kids' life. Kids are on their deathbed or marching towards heaven, and they get a moment with John Cena that changed the ending of their life. Yeah.
Think about a poor kid. Now, I've had cancer, and I was in my 50s.
Right.
And it's a beast.
Sure.
So think about a 10-year-old who's suffering through that, who for one day gets to go behind the scenes, gets the first-class treatment. WWE, John Cena, and I'm sure all the other guys come out and do their shtick or whatever. Think about the impact on that kid. On that one kid. Like,
that's right.
If I entertain one person, and they do thousands of them.
So people talk about Saudi Arabia and the blood money that the WWE, they keep on saying blood money.
Yeah.
You know what they do with that blood money? They help Americans. They come in and they help kids in need. They give to charity. It's like, you know what? I'm going to say this. Shame on people who keep saying this nonsense. You should be ashamed of yourself, and you should be embarrassed of yourself for even saying the things you say about Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Yeah.
Okay? He made millionaires out of wrestlers that, if it wasn't for him, would still be working the indies in Ridgewood, New Jersey.
And you know what? The truth is, if you made millions in the 80s and you blew it on blow and chicks,
that's right.
That's on you. That's not.
Yeah, but you know what? The wrestling expert goes, "Oh, you always got to bring that up. Why do you got to bring it?" Yeah, well, it's true.
It's valid. It's a valid argument. I mean, the wrestling expert. You don't even get me started on that guy this week. Don't even.
It's like MC Hammer, millions of dollars. Now he's a pauper.
He blew it. That's it. It's on him.
It's on him. Nobody else did it.
I agree with you, Mike. 1,000,000%.
Steve, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. There's a rumor out there that Rusev and Lana have split in real life.
Oh, no.
So we've talked about this before, where they have these angles where they put a wrestler with a guy's real wife who was in the wrestling company, and sooner or later they start having an affair, and then all of a sudden they break up. I mean, we could use examples of Chris Benoit and Woman. Right? You ever heard of the name Chris Benoit?
Yeah.
Chris Benoit was a famous wrestler who ended up killing his family and then killing himself.
Yes.
You should look it up. She was married to a gentleman by the name of Kevin Sullivan. Kevin Sullivan was a booker and put Benoit with his wife. They ended up having an affair, and she left Sullivan, and so life goes. Jeff Jarrett and Karen Angle, Kurt Angle's wife. There was an angle there where they put those two together, and she left Kurt.
Yeah.
So the rumor is maybe something's going on with Lashley and Lana. Now they're starting to say maybe it's not true, blah blah blah. But it goes back to the Macho Man. So we've had famous wrestlers in here all talked about. Was this true about Macho Man? Was Randy Savage right for locking Elizabeth away from the boys? And keeping her away.
It didn't actually work because she wound up fooling around with Lex Luger, from what I remember.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
and many others, right?
The truth of the matter is, I had this, and I'm going to make this personal for a second.
Sure.
Is when my wife went to Italy years ago. I'm playing softball, and one of my friends was like, "You let your wife go to Italy?" And I'm like, "Well, A, I don't let her go anywhere, and B, well, you know, Italian guy. I'm not saying anything bad about your wife, but you know, Italian guys." And I was like, "Bro, if I don't trust her, it doesn't matter if I go to work in the morning, I go around the corner, she's going to cheat on me."
That's
so
right.
The locale doesn't matter, and I don't buy it. So I think if you have to lock your wife in a closet, you got deeper issues than insecurity. I think he must have known what kind of woman she was.
Well, I think, first of all, in any kind of relationship, when again, I don't know how long you all have been married, right? But I think, there's certain times it's very hard to be in a long-lasting relationship, and it could be very, very stressful. And you end up finding someone else that
happens,
right? And think about the pressure of this. I'm going to jump because we've got to get done here. But
we're good.
You're dating Mandy Rose. Okay, I'll use Mandy Rose in it as an example. Okay. Could you imagine the pressure of being Mandy Rose's boyfriend?
Well, that's an awful lot when you have she could dump you and 8 billion other guys be like, yeah.
And meanwhile, every other guy wants to fuck her anyway, right?
Well,
Right.
Yeah, and even your best buddies, unless it's your super best buddy, is going to be like, hey, sorry, Monty, I had a chance.
That's
I
right.
had to take it.
And, right.
And she's got to act like she's willing to go with these other guys so that they stay attracted to her.
Yeah.
I got to be honest.
Yeah, boatload of pressure.
I got to be honest, though. The minute a woman would do that to me, I'd be like, okay, go.
Yeah.
Just go then, because I'm not going to live like this. That would be my reaction.
Yeah, but to Jeff's point, though, if their role is to be attractive, okay, perfect example, J-Lo, halftime show, right? She's with A-Rod, but she's shaking her goodies.
For everybody.
Right? I mean, the dancer, they were actually humping each other on stage. It's part of the show, though.
Yeah,
but think about...
But that's an act.
It's an act.
It's an act. And A-Rod's got...
And A-Rod's A-Rod.
400 million reasons why
But
she's not
again,
leaving.
you're a regular dude. So Savage is with Elizabeth in a time where they didn't have a lot of women in wrestling.
That's right.
Gorgeous girl. And what's he going to do?
Well, also, I got to be frank with you. It's the kind of people that you consider friends. I have no doubt that I could be going out with anybody. Doesn't matter. And you personally would not make a hit on any girl that I'm dating.
Right.
Because we're friends.
Right.
And that's the kind of people you choose to associate with. But, I don't know. Maybe she shouldn't have been with him on the road. Maybe she should have been home. I mean, it's part of the shtick, but,
And how hard is it to stay with a guy who every time he speaks sounds like he's constipated?
Well, that's kind of hard.
Come on, macho man. Come on, you can't take on macho.
All right, well, let's bring it to that point. Would Macho Man be as famous as he was if he didn't have Elizabeth, or vice versa?
Oh, no, but because the angle that he was like, shut up, initially, shut up, go.
I mean, she made him.
Yeah, she made it.
A lot of people think, I spoke to Farrell about it, he's like, oh, he still would have made it to the top. I don't think so.
I think so.
You do?
I do. Because the truth matters, and you just talked about his wife. This is the first I'm hearing of her. I never heard of her before. I just liked, Macho Man for what he did.
Yeah, but you knew him because his name became very prevalent in society.
Right.
But if that initial move with her never happened, you may not even know that he even existed, or maybe at a small level. I'm not saying that it wouldn't have happened.
Right.
All I'm saying is, Hillbilly Jim said it.
Oh, yeah.
He said that, Artito Santana said it. He said he was okay, great wrestler, but really wasn't getting over in New York to the level he needed to be. And when she came on board, that's when it started to happen.
Would Hulk Hogan have been as famous if he hadn't been in Rocky?
No. That started all. Everything's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
That pushed him over the edge.
And I also think that helped wrestling in general, too.
It helped wrestling because Vince McMahon was smart enough to say, wait a minute, this guy was just in the top grossing movie of the year. We're pushing him to the top.
Well, so the story behind it, and Greg Gagne, who's going to be here, we're going to ask him these questions. It's basically like this. Hogan wanted to do Rocky. He was a heel in the WWE.
That's right.
Vince Sr. let him go because he said, we don't do movies here.
Really?
Yep. When he did Rocky, he went to the AWA, became super popular, and he started selling T-shirts. I think they used to do their own thing back then.
Okay.
Vern wanted all the money for the T-shirts.
Yep. That's smart.
So Hulk said, I'll split it with you. And Vern said, nope, it's all mine. So Jr. contacted Hogan, seeing that Hogan was going to be the next big deal and was going to help him make global takeover.
Right.
Contacted Hogan, and Hogan then went to the WWE. So Greg Gagne's father, who owned the AWA, totally screwed up his whole organization because it was about him instead of realizing what the future was.
Yeah. I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
That's wow. What an idiot.
Yeah.
That's an idiotic move.
Yeah. And he was so angry about it, you'll find this out too, and you'll hear it from the horse's mouth, probably told better than me, is when Hogan was going to win the belt against the Iron Sheik. Vern Gagne offered the Iron Sheik $10,000 to break his leg to stop it. and Iron Sheik made the decision that he was going to stay with the WWE, and this was the way to go.
Wow. That's
And Iron Sheik could have broken Hogan's leg. Iron Sheik was the
a
real.
wrestler.
He was the real deal.
Wrestler. Yeah. And I don't mean like wrestling's fake. I meant the real Greco-Roman wrestler guy.
And in later years, did you know that Hogan was offered to put his name on certain products, and he was thinking about this one product, he didn't get to it fast enough, and George Foreman got the grill instead of him.
Really? It was going to be the Hulk Hogan grill?
The Hulk Hogan grill. And,
wow.
Yeah. George Foreman got to it first.
That's crazy. Hottest angle in my is Otis and Mandy.
Well, it's actually hilarious because the guy's so brutally ugly.
Yeah.
It's hysterical. It's a great angle. It
is a great angle. So rumor has it what's going to happen is Mandy's going to get involved with Otis.
Okay.
All right. And Mandy's partner, help me out, I forget her name already. I kept getting killed. But anyway, one half of Fire and Desire. I'm having a brain freeze. Been up early. No. Anyway, Pharaoh is here to correct me. But anyway,
I'm not the Pharaoh.
she's a lesbian and she's going to get jealous. And then Mandy's going to have to make a decision between her and Otis.
Is she hot?
She's pretty hot.
I want her to be with Mandy Rose.
She's so hot.
I cannot lie.
She is a hot lesbian.
Mandy Rose is ridiculously hot.
All right, guys, I want to end the show with this. Yesterday, Kirk Douglas passed away.
Yes.
For the younger fans, could you guys explain who Kirk Douglas was?
Spartacus, yes.
He was, you know what about Kirk Douglas? I don't think I could name 10 movies he was in.
Yep.
But Kirk Douglas was a movie star.
He was the last of the silver screen movie stars.
And Spartacus is one of the most...
So everybody mentions Spartacus, and there's a joke in my family. My father's a big Spartacus guy.
Uh-huh.
I hated Spartacus.
Really?
The reason I hated Spartacus is because who's the director? Kubrick? Was it Kubrick? Stanley Kubrick. Who's the singer actor, the Italian guy, Tony Curtis? It looks like a friggin' mob guy.
Yeah.
Like they don't even dress up. It's like it's just so poorly.
Yeah.
To me, it's poorly done.
Well, they
I just hated it.
I don't know. I loved it because it was a big screen thing.
But why did you love it?
I was a kid when I saw it, and I just was a big thing to see the whole. You know, he was a slave. He was a gladiator.
Right.
Then he broke free, and he was the leader of this movement.
Now, if I remember it right, they hang him on a cross at the end, right?
No. They crucify him.
Yeah, right. They hang him on a cross. Yeah, they crucify him.
It's a hanging, I think. Hanging.
Yeah, so they crucify him on a cross. But I understand why people love that movie. I totally got it. But when I watch it now, like I put it on, I'm like, my father's like, "Let's watch Spartacus," and I'll be like, "I can't."
You know what it is? You're used to see. We got spoiled by special effects and CGI.
Yeah. Well, how about guys actually getting into their role? I mean, nothing for nothing. Kirk Douglas, he's Spartacus, and he doesn't have a hair on his face. It's like, oh, what do you shave every day? Come on.
And his hair looks like the font.
It's perfect. Yeah, come on.
Wow. I mean, he was also, him and Tony Curtis were also in another movie called The Vikings.
Yeah.
All right, where they were, and in that one, that the joke was that I think Tony Curtis still had his Brooklyn accent. And he couldn't get rid of it.
He has it in Spartacus too. It's
Spartacus!
What are you doing here?
Oh, we're in Rome. I was just over 86th Street over here.
Like to take you to the castle of my father.
Oh
my God.
Oh, Spartacus.
Oh,
about to have to be Roman. He was gladiator.
But that's fucking funny.
Kirk Douglas was also, he was a big cowboy. He was in many westerns. He worked with John Wayne on a number of things. He was in
a little known Once Upon a Time in Hollywood fact. Kirk Douglas was one of the 8 people on the Manson family's hit list that they never got to.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Steve McQueen, Frank Sinatra, Tom Jones.
McQueen was on that list
he
too?
was number 1 on the list. He was the one they were going for next. It was McQueen, Sinatra, Tom Jones, Kirk Douglas, Engelbert Humperdinck, Johnny Carson, and I forget the last 2.
Wow.
I forget at the top of my head, but yes.
That's a fun fact.
Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. There you
wow.
go. Yeah. Boom, boom.
And they ended up getting
caught.
But they ended up killing, what's her name?
Sharon Tate.
Yeah, Sharon Tate.
Yeah.
So how did Sharon Tate, was she on the list? It wasn't, right?
No.
It was the Beach Boy guy, right?
No, the house was on the list.
Just the house.
It wasn't even the Beach Boy. It was the Beach Boys producer, who happened to be Doris Day's son, Terry Melcher.
Okay.
Who turned them down. who promised Manson a recording contract, then reneged on it. So he had lived in that house. So
All right.
it was about the house.
I'm going to reveal something Pharaoh told me. I've never heard it, and I want an answer. I said Manson's music sucked.
Blue Dog.
Pharaoh says I'm wrong. There's actually a couple of very good songs.
They're not good songs. They are amateur at best. I've listened to them. I did my college thesis on Manson murders.
I wish he was here.
I'm going to argue with Pharaoh about this next week, but they were terrible. I thought they were terrible. They're amateur at best, like a stupid ass. They were stupid ass, like end of the world songs. It was just dog shit. Dog shit.
Wait, I think, I could be wrong here. Pharaoh claims that the Beatles took some riffs.
The Beach Boys. No. The Beach
They
Boys
took riffs from Manson's album?
They took a song that was originally titled Cease to Exist. They gave Charles Manson $200 and changed the name to Never Learn Not to Love, which was included on, I believe it's the Sunflower album.
Holy cow.
I know all this. Like I said, I did my college.
Those are some fun facts. Well, with that, we're going to call it a night. I want to thank Jeff, and I want to thank Steve for joining us. And again, I want to remind everybody, you catch Monty and the Pharaoh every Thursday from 8:05 to 9 p.m. only here at Village Connection Media, live out of Rockstar Studios. Also catch us on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcast, Overcast, and on the new, I don't even know what the hell Periscope is, Fox affiliate RTF Sports Network from 4 to 5 every Friday. And if you want to see us, you can catch us on Channel 115 from 6 a.m. to 6:30 on Saturdays. And then at the primetime show right before This Is Us, Channel 115, 8:30 to 9 p.m.
We could have had a conversation about This Is Us tonight.
Oh, we could have, but you know what?
What?
There's one thing I was angry about. That presidential speech interrupted this week's episode.
That's not right. They shouldn't do that.
Pick up,
Yeah.
By the way, I'm kind of into 2.5 Men reruns right now.
I've actually never seen that show.
I had never. It is hilarious.
Is it? I've never seen
the
it.
earlier ones with the kid when he was smaller.
Yeah.
He had the best lines in that show.
With Kutcher, though, it's terrible.
No, with Kutcher,
Is
not
that
so great. No.
Yeah.
Kutcher.
But I highly recommend. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining, and hopefully Farrell will be back next week, and we'll talk to you then.
Replacement for the Pharaoh. Poor Mike.
You did great.
Stuck with me.
All right, I'll talk to you later, guys.